Hello, welcome to another episode of Teens 360 with Savik. It's a moment where we look at issues around our teenagers. How do we arm the teens teacher, the teen parent, and the teens leader, guardian with sophisticated tools with which to lead our teenagers towards fulfilling their colorful destinies here on earth, considering the number of encumbrances pursuing after them in times like this. Welcome to Teens 360 with Savik. Welcome back. Okay, today we are going to be looking at a very important issue that some teens leaders know, some teen parents know, some teens teachers know, but they take it for granted. But it's very pivotal towards leading teens, teaching teens, and parenting teens effectively. That issue is teens exist in cliques. Teens exist in circles. Teens exist in cliques. Teens exist in circles. Now, every teenager, no matter how introvertic you think they are, no matter how secluded, quiet, or brash you think they are, every teen belongs to a clique, circle, a clique or a circle. Would that be counted as fallacy of basic generalization? Maybe. Okay, let's put it rightly. 90% of teens belong to a circle, a clique. A circle, a clique. Let me explain further. These cliques and circles most times are not consciously built by these teenagers. Of course, every teen has their friends. They have people they fancy. They have fellow teenagers that speak their language, that they roll with. Those they feel at their level, those that reason at their speed, those that understand them, so to say, those they think understand them, so to say. And over a period of time, this adaptation, this acquaintance gradually metamorphoses into cliquehood and circlehood. Cliquehood and circlehood. Like I said, these things most times are not consciously built. Interestingly, these circles and cliques unintentionally too, unelectively too, evolves a leader. Among this clique and circle, one of them gradually becomes over-influential. One of them, over a period of time, begins to exhibit certain influences that shows a little superiority amongst others. It could be intelligence, it could be that it's coming from a wealthier home and therefore has more resources at his or her disposal. It could be knowing something more than others. It could be being current more than others. It could be being more exposed more than others. Maybe has traveled, he has seen things. Maybe others do not have cable TVs in their house, and he or she has, and has access to more information. It could be having more better gadgets. It could be just their own sense of fashion. But just somehow, one gradually comes to a place of unintentional leadership of the clique. In fact, I've seen in some cases where in these cliques and circles, the one who assumes leadership is the one who speaks more than others. The one who is the extrovert, the one who knows how to organize words better. And where does this clique exist? They exist in churches, in their churches. It exists within their neighborhood. It exists within their school, within their class. It exists within the choir group. It exists within the fellowship. It exists just everywhere teenagers find themselves and consistently come together. These cliques unconsciously build up. Unconsciously build up. Now, the earlier the leader of teen, the teacher of these teenagers, the parent and guidance of these teenagers gets to understand that these cliques and circles exist, is going to help them achieve a wholesome grooming of teenagers that are going to fulfill their colorful destiny on earth. In fact, I've seen in some cases where in these cliques and circles, the one who assumes leadership is the one who speaks more than others, the one who is the extrovert, the one who knows how to organize words better. And where does this clique exist? They exist in churches, in their churches. It exists within their neighborhood. It exists within their school, within their class. It exists within the choir group. It exists within the fellowship. It exists just everywhere teenagers find themselves and consistently come together. These cliques unconsciously build up. Unconsciously build up. Now, why does understanding this clique and circle nature, clique and circle coexistence nature of teenagers, why is it important for the teen's leader, the teen's teacher, the teen's parents? Now, the influence of these clique and circles over your teenager, over your teen, is usually heavy. Yeah, it's usually heavy. In fact, most of the times, issues of authorities over teenagers, parents, leaders, guardians, teachers, issues of other teenagers are discussed in this circle. It's their gist circle. Talk more of these times of internet where they can easily form group, WhatsApp group, Telegram group, Messenger group, and so on and so forth. But the reason why it is important that the person, the authority above the teenager, understands this circle is that this circle exerts enormous influence over the teenager, especially the direction of the unintentional, unelected leader of this circle. The direction he or she faces contributes greatly to the influence that you see strangely or pleasantly appearing in your teenagers. Yes. The circle exerts influence because this is the circle that discusses how they perceive boyfriend-girlfriend thing. This is the circle that conditions most times the pressure they face on fashion, the pressure they face on gadgets, the pressure they face on societal endorsement, which influences what they post and not post on Facebook. This circle exerts that influence and pressure on them depending on the circle they find themselves. Now, how does the knowledge of this circle and cliquehood help the teen leader, the teen teacher, or the parent? Having this understanding will help you know how to help that teenager, will help you understand the root cause of certain behavioral patterns you begin to see in the teen. Listen, this clique most times, in furtherance of my explanation of the influence of this circle and cliquehood over the teenager, this clique and circle most times water down what these teenagers bring from their homes. So most times there's this parental policy in the house, and this teenager is not so cool with it. And so he or she brings it to the circle for conversation. Every other person says what happens in their own home, whether true or not true. This puts back pressure on your teen, who will come back and begin to want to break free from that disciplinary system being put in the home. Now, having a grasp, an understanding, a firm knowledge of the clique your teenager belongs to will help you tackle the sudden stubbornness, the sudden character, the sudden behavior you start noticing in your teenager, different from what is being taught at home, will help you deal with it from the roots. Will help you deal with this issue from the roots and not deal with the symptoms you are seeing in your home. So it's very, very important that the parent, the teacher, the leader of the teen will consciously find out the clique, the circle. You know, when I was leading teens, when I was the president of teenagers, which I did for over a decade, I noticed something. Most of my teenagers, we are going to fix a meeting, and they meet at one person's house, and you see them coming in groups. They're not living together. Why are they coming together? They're not even living in the same streets. Their teen leader, what you are seeing is a clique and a circle. Is a clique and a circle. I used to tell most adults that most times what you discuss with teenagers, including the amoral, immoral conversations, the rubbish conversations you have with teenagers, they take it back to their circle and discuss. That's how a teenager suddenly starts disrespecting you, because you have misbehaved around someone close to him or her. So these teenagers exist in these cliques and circles, and of course, when you are aware of this clique and circle, trying to break the clique or circle may be counterproductive. That may not be what you need to do. The reason why it may be counterproductive is that, when you try to separate them from this clique or circle, because they think that this clique and circle, we don't do anything bad. We don't indulge in immoral things. We don't indulge. It's just my friend. So they see you as hating their friends. And as such, maybe trying to break this circle and clique may be counterproductive. And remember, these clique and circles are not like cults, so to say. They are informal. Most times, they are in it without even knowing that they have gradually become a circle. Right? They call it bestie, they call it whatever contemporary they choose to call it. But they exert heavy influence. So what do you do? What do we do as leaders, parents, and teachers of teenagers? What we do is to have this great firm knowledge. Now, take your time to observe. Who are they? That's your step 1. Observe and know them. Step 2, find out consciously and intentionally who is the unintentional and unelected leader of this circle and clique. Who is the one who have assumed higher influence over them within their circle. If you are going to break into that circle, then you are going to break into the mind of that unintended leader. Very simple. You are going to find a way and get into the head of that unintended leader. You are going to find a way and get into the heart and the mind of that. That brings us to what we have discussed previously, what we have discussed in this podcast, where we said you must love them. So what you are going to do is, when the circle is detected, the leader is detected, walk into the love side of the leader. With a firm grip on the leader, you have a firm grip on all of them. You have a firm grip on all of them. Let me give you an instance. So one of the days I tried to find out this my teenagers, ladies, girls for that matter. They will meet at one of them's house, and they will start coming for either rehearsals or for meeting or for anything we have. And then I found out who is that person they usually go to their house and go and wait for. That is the unplanned leader of that circle. So what I did is to make, in fact, one of those days I had to bring in that leader into my leadership to be able to have a firm grip of this circle. To have a firm grip on this circle, you have to walk into them, break into them with your knowledge of that unintended, unelected leader of the circle. The next counsel I usually give to, especially parents who have teenagers, is build the atmosphere, build a cordial atmosphere between you and your teen that can allow your teenager come home with their friends. Do not make your home so hostile to your teenagers that they find it difficult to come home with their friends. The best thing that can happen to you is that your home, you make your family in such a form that your teenagers are free to come home with their friends. If you make your home in such a form that your teenagers cannot come home with their friends, how do you intend to help them? How do you even know the root of what they are doing? Because there's a whole lot of pressure on them. See, their parents especially, their teens teachers. 1990, in fact 2005, when you grew up your own growing, is far different from this 2025. From 2024, 2025. The gap between 2005 and 2025 is like from here to London. It's like from Lagos to London, trekking. So the gap is wide. There's so much encompassing around these teenagers. They have so much they are dealing with. So the least you can do is to walk into their life and be a help. And not prepare a hostile environment, a harsh environment where they cannot be able to come home with their friends. How can a teenager be coming home with their friends and then they stand at the junction and finish their conversation before they come home? Why is the home not comfortable enough for them to come home, sit down, finish their conversation and say, Mommy, we are going, and that's it. That will help you help your teen. See, teenagers need help even though they don't know they need help. They need help, though they don't know they need help. It is you who God has placed as an authority over them, who knows that they need help, that can help yourself in helping them. You can only help them in helping them. And in trying to help a teenager, you need a whole lot of wisdom, you need a whole lot of tact, you need a whole lot of patience. Because, sometimes some of them, they are walking into fire. You, as an adult, know that they are walking into fire. You are telling them that they are walking into fire. The only way to get the teenager walk out of fire is to tell them the way they understand that they are walking into fire. You understand the Gen Z thing, the body thing. And if you do not have this firm understanding, this firm grip, then you are going to lose them even while having them. I pray that God helps us as we do our best as leaders, teachers, and parents to help our teenagers become what God has destined them to be. I speak to you as a leader, pastor, parent of a teenager. No teen will be wasted in your hands. None will be wasted. Thank you for being a part of today's broadcast. I hope you were blessed. Please feel free to share this broadcast to every teen leader, pastor, teacher, guardian that needs this. And we believe God that God will help us arm ourselves towards helping our teenagers fulfill their colorful destiny. Thank you for being a part of today's broadcast. I hope to see you next week, Tuesday, on this same channel in Teens 360 with Savi. Thank you for being part of this broadcast. I love you. God bless you. what do you do? What do we do as leaders, parents, and teachers of teenagers? What we do is to have this great firm knowledge. Now, take your time to observe. Who are they? When you now, that's your step one. Observe and know them. Step two, find out consciously and intentionally who is the unintentional and unelected leader of this circle and clique. Who is the one who have assumed higher influence over them within their circle. If you are going to break into that circle, then you are going to break into the mind of that unintended leader.